It is 21 minutes to midnight. I'm Jumoke Fashola. Now, my next guest is a very well-known face on the comedy circuit, star of Live at the Apollo, Michael McIntyre's Comedy Roadshow, and various TV panel shows. Andi is now embarking on a new venture. She's fresh from a sellout run at London's Soho Theatre, is now treading the boards in the West End in a walk-on part. And that is not what she's doing. The play is actually called A Walk-on Part. She joins us now fresh from the theatre.
I've come straight. It's funny, actually, you said that thing about the name, Walk-on Part. It's not, because I had to explain to my mum what it's called. And she's like, oh, very good, dear. What's it called? I was like, it's called A Walk-on Part. She's like, what? I said, no, it's not, when... Oh, don't worry, Mum. Just come see it.
Just come and see it. Has she seen it yet?
She hasn't seen it yet. We only opened on Tuesday, so okay. She's waiting till I get good in it, and then she'll come when I've figured it all out.
Yeah, that's very supportive of her. Tell us what the play is about.
It's basically a play based on the diaries of MP Chris Mullin. He wrote 3 diaries, and they sort of condensed it all down into one play, and it's about the fall of New Labour, basically the rise and fall of New Labour. So it's been a huge learning curve for me.
I was going to say that's quite heavy.
It could be, couldn't it? But it's actually really funny and like genuinely proper laugh out loud moments in it. And also, like for someone like me, because I saw the play before I was in it, and I learned a lot. I was like, oh yeah, I remember when that happened, and I didn't know that guy did that. And so you're sort of piecing together all these little, for me, little news snippets that I hear here and there, but don't really pay attention to. Suddenly they were sort of pieced together and contextualized in this play. So it's been really good. It's really good for that.
It's a 4-hander. There are only 5-handers.
Yeah.
So not a very big cast, nowhere to hide.
No, but there's about like 200 characters or something between us all. So the main guy, John Hodgkinson, he plays Chris Mullin.
Yeah.
And he's kind of telling the story, and we all sort of pop up every now and again, and one guy is like Tony Blair, hi guys, and then there's another guy, being Gordon Brown, in the next election and all that. So we all get to play.
You're pretty good with voices.
I don't get to do Tony Blair. I don't understand.
I was going to say, you would have been, for me, I would have gone cast Andi for that.
Yeah, make her all the white guys. She looks so much like them. I suppose the person that's playing Tony Blair looks like him.
How are you finding it versus doing your own thing comedy-wise? Because there is a lot of discipline required. I'm not saying that there isn't discipline required in comedy, but it's a different kind of discipline, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the weirdest thing, I started out as an actor and then went to stand-up, and then now I'm back, just trying to combine the two.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing for me on the opening night was thinking, I want to just talk to the audience. I want to talk to them, and I'm not allowed. I want to talk about how...
respond.
No, exactly. So you just got to sit there, and there's a lot of times, like the 4 support cast members are kind of just watching John tell the story, and I'm sort of there going, I want to talk to them, so it's sort of getting used to that. But apart from that, it's been really fun kind of going back. And when I started acting, I started out doing a lot of theatre. So it's muscle memory.
Yeah.
It does. I feel like I'm remembering what I used to do rather than learning afresh. But always, you always try and keep learning as you go along.
It is quite scary, because recently, actually, Nini and I were in the Vagina Monologues, which we put on somewhere in my hood, Peckham.
Awesome. Okay.
And I didn't put it on. Someone put it on. But I did a part in it, and my background is in theatre, but I haven't done theatre for years, so it's a very different feeling, because suddenly I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I really must remember what I have to say.
Yeah. There's
no kind of, I'll just vamp on this.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's quite scary, isn't it? Because you have to stick to the script.
Yeah. And also, I just feel like if you decided that you did have to sort of improv, because I've had that moment where I was on stage one time and I just completely lost my place.
Yeah.
And I just started talking and hoping that, something would come. But just imagine if it didn't, you just create a whole other play within the play, like the fruits of your imagination. It'd be awful.
And then nobody can say to you, I know where she is, I can leap in.
I'll help her. She's on her own.
She's on her own, man. She's gone to Mars.
Exactly.
And I'm still here.
Oh my God. That's one of the things that really terrifies me, and always has. And so I'm really sort of always like make extra effort to learn my lines, know my cues, all that sort of thing. So I'm just so terrified of that moment where you just, what did you just say? In your head, and what just happened? Because you can drift away. You can just start thinking, I am being really good tonight, and then suddenly the stage has gone quiet, and you're like, what just happened?
What did
Is it me?
Is it someone else? And that's when you look over and go, don't you know what you should be doing?
Yeah, and they're looking at you like it's you, fool. You're supposed to be speaking now.
So this idea of going back to the theatre, because it must have been an interesting transition, but I'd love to explore the transition when you decided you wanted to do stand-up, because, of course, for theatre people, there is this kind of wall which you can hide behind, whereas someone who's a comedian, you just basically it's fresh. You're like fresh meat for the audience, and then the audience are fresh meat for you. What got you into stand?
Well, I suppose as an actor, I realised I was just paying too much tax. So,
and then you went offshore,
and then it just all fell into place. That's cruel.
It is cruel.
The poor cruel. Man. I heard you guys talking about it.
The next time you're on a panel with him, you would just wait and see.
I think he might steer clear of the panel shows for a little while. Well, he was on 8 out of 10 Cats Tonight, and actually, to be fair to him, he took the hit.
Yeah.
Sean Locke was amazing. John Richardson, amazing. Everyone was. Mickey Flanagan, Sarah Millican was on there as well. And he took it.
Right.
And I think he did well. And to be honest with you, I don't think really he owed an apology, but he did it because he felt it was the right thing to do. But that's another matter. But basically, I got into stand-up because I wasn't getting a lot of acting work. You know, with acting work, you never know where the work's going to come from, when it's going to come. And so I felt like I want to be doing this. I've always wanted to do it since I was like little, watching Eddie Murphy, Delirious, Goony Goo Goo and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to give it a go, you know. It's gotten to... And in fact, people like Ninia and Gina and people like that were real inspirations. And Jocelyn as well, because I was thinking, what is similar about all these women that I respect and are in an industry that I want to get into? What's the sort of unifying thing? And it was all that they'd done stand up, all of them. And I was like,
really?
Oh no, that means I've got to do it as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really interesting. It was a moment. It was about a year before I started. I was like, first of all, I was too scared, so I said, right, I'm not doing that. I'll have to find another way.
Right.
And then it just got to the point where it's just like, I'm going to do it.
Do you remember the very first time you did? What did you do? Because, I mean, is there a process where you gather jokes together or something and then go, right, I'm unleashing myself on the world? Or do you just blindly walk on stage and go, right, I'll give comedy a try then?
Yeah, well, I just stood in the same place and waited for a comedy gig to build up around me. That's what I did. I did a course, and sometimes, you know, they can be quite useful.
Yeah.
I think more to give you your confidence rather than like, now I'm going to teach you how to be funny.
Yeah.
So that gig was nice because it's all friends and family, and it's people who know you and love you and just want you to do well. So they're just laughing as soon as your name's mentioned, you know, even if you're not funny. But when you get into the real world, everyone remembers their first gig. Mine was on a boat where the audience were outnumbered by comedians by a significant number. You know, the stage was not even a stage. The toilet was immediately behind the stage, so the audience were walking past the comedian to get to the bathroom. One guy dropped his trousers in front of a comedian that was on stage.
Stop.
That is the ultimate heckle, is it not? Just showing, this is what I think of you. It was some night. Yeah.
This is seriously
my first night of comedy.
Do you remember the first joke you told?
Well, I used to talk about, it's a classic thing. If you come from a diverse background, you talk about that because it's different from what the audience or the majority of the audience will know. So I talked a lot about that. And it came together. It was fine, you know, but I still had to do a lot of work. And you know, you want your first gig to be amazing and everyone go, oh my God, you're the new whatever. But it's not like that. It's, you know, you have to work it and you have to keep doing your gigs and going all over the country.
When was the moment you thought to yourself, actually, I am good at this? Because there's a difference between desire and wanting to be. And yes, actually, now I know I'm good at this.
Do you know what? Like, you can think that, like, right from the beginning. But what happens is you do a bad gig and you go, I'm actually terrible at this.
Yeah.
I should apologise to the audience for that.
You can have your money back.
Yeah, exactly. I should be refunding them. Yeah. Just say, we'll give you a credit voucher or something. You know, like you're taking stuff back to Primark or something. But, you know, because you have a good gig, you think, oh, top of the world, I'm great. And then you have a not so good gig and you go back to the drawing board like, right, I need a new set. I need to change my style. I need to watch some videos or DVDs of a good comic and find out how they're doing it, you know. So it's really up and down like that. But I think if you at the core of it, you know that you can pretty much do it, and you stay in a mode of learning. I think every day, every time you go on stage, I think you'll be okay. It's when people think they know it and they got it all down that I think that gets you into trouble.
Do you? So when you're trying out new jokes, do you try them out on an audience that already know you, or do you go into some backyard place and go, I'll just try out these and see whether people think this is funny?
Yeah. Well, the first person I try stuff out on is me.
Right.
If it's made me laugh, because I'm not one of those people that goes, I think this is what other people want to hear. You know, I'll think, is that funny? That made me laugh.
Okay.
I'm going to try that out. But yeah, I do go to little sort of under the radar, doesn't even have a microphone, no lights or whatever. Is this a comedy gig? We're not sure. It's just an awkward situation at a party. You know, and then, because you don't want too many people seeing your demise. Because sometimes, and this is such a cliche, but every comic will tell you this, you think it's hilarious. Yeah. You're like, I'll go out there. They'll probably be holding me shoulder high, carrying me around the room after I've done this routine. And then you do it and people go, was that a poem? You know,
no, stop.
You know, that's how bad it can be. Like, oh, maybe she's just trying to sort of make a political statement or something. So yeah, it can die. Or equally, it can be amazing, but you've got to just give yourself an environment. It's not that it's got to be a small gig, but just one where you feel safe,
right? Okay.
And feel free to have a bit of a play. If it doesn't go well, that you can laugh about it.
I tell you, I mean, I do like comedy, but there's certain. I think everybody has a funny bone that works for them. Yeah. So some comics you see and you think, that's clever, but it's not funny. I can see that it's funny, but it's not. It's so clever that I don't kind of get it.
Yeah, that's true.
But I did go and see Eddie. What's his name? Eddie.
Not your Eddie, Eddie Nestor.
No, not our Eddie.
Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Oh, okay.
I went to go and see Eddie. No, I didn't go and see Eddie Murphy.
I was going to say, what?
I went to see Chris Rock.
Oh. I'm going to report you to somebody for that. That is a comedy crime. Eddie Murphy and Chris Rock.
No, I know it is. But anyway, there we go. So I went to see Chris Rock.
Yes.
And I'm sitting in the front row.
Really?
Front row.
Wow.
I was so keen.
Where's this?
This was a couple of years ago and he was at the O2.
You were in the front row.
And literally, girl, I heard he was coming. I was like, I've got to get these tickets. Okay, so I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm like, I'm going to see Chris Rock. I'm going to see Chris Rock. And I sat there, and because I'd watched a lot of Chris Rock, I mean, I was like completely obsessed with him at one point. I went there and I just looked at him and I started watching him and I started thinking, this is not funny.
Oh, no.
He was funny, but it was a set. So it was one of those things where there was no... you weren't going to divert from the script.
It didn't feel spontaneous. You knew that it was a script and it felt like a script.
You knew it was funny and it worked, but it kind of killed me. I just remember sitting there going, no, I want you to kind of respond to somebody doing something or it just didn't feel like it was... free,
like in the moment kind of thing, happening in the moment.
And I wondered about that because of course there is the safety of knowing that a set does work, and the non-net type comedy, and which do you prefer?
Well, I mean, I love the working without the net thing, but I'm only going to do that at a certain height, you know, because if I fall, you're going to hurt yourself. Yeah. No, but I mean, I suppose with a gig like that, that's like 15,000 people.
Yeah.
The chance to banter and have a bit of a play, you're going to stick to what you know works. Whereas, you know, I like doing gigs, especially like new material ones, where the audience is probably, you know, maybe about 80 or something like that. That for me is a nice, safe, we can have some fun, I can go on with notes, you know, that type of thing. But for a big gig like that, I can see why, you know, a guy would just stick to the script.
Yeah, I was slightly disappointed.
And he's doing his DVD as well, isn't he? Bless him.
Yeah, that's true, actually. And that also got my go. I'm like, I paid money for now. I didn't pay money for the DVD. Coming out
you should all get a free copy for being good audience for him.
And people were laughing and falling about, but that kind of turned me off.
You know, I'd have to tell you, I was at the same gig. I don't know if it's the same night that you went, and I didn't enjoy it as much as watching it back on the DVD afterwards because we were so far back.
Right,
we were the opposite end of the O2 from you.
Well, between him and Prince, once I decided to go to the O2, I'm like front row, baby. If I can.
I need to get on to whoever you get your tickets from.
No, I just buy tickets. I see it. I move quickly.
Wow.
I move quickly. I don't even hang about anyway.
My tickets are always so bad, I might as well be outside. That's how bad. When I buy tickets, I never get good tickets for anything. What did I go and see the other day? I was outside. I was in a car park.
What did you go and see?
Oh, I can't even remember. We went to see Coldplay.
Oh, yes.
At the Emirates. Because I'm like an Arsenal member or whatever. Don't hate me. But, so I was like, Arsenal membership, getting them a day before everybody else. oh my gosh, we might as well have been on the roof. We might as well have been at Chelsea. That's how bad the seats were. Could have seen more if I'd been at Stamford Bridge.
Well, maybe you should go there in future.
Yeah, get a better view.
Now, also, the other thing, you're very candid about being a single lady.
Oh, the single ladies. The single ladies.
Do you know, once I was asked to sing that at a gig, I literally had to sing it day in, day out for about 7 days. I was doing this show, and I was like, this is just ridiculous. And every time I started singing it, people would just fall about laughing. Anyway, moving on swiftly. This is a very open view of your personal life, or is this you don't hold back on this? I've never seen this show. I'm looking forward to seeing it, but
I mean, I don't hold back, because I think like relationships are one of those universal things where everybody's had one or wants one, or knows the politics of relationships, and I think it's just really liberating to talk about this. And sometimes in reviews people mention that obviously this is not a subject that's brand new and it's been dealt with before, but it's always different depending on who's talking about it, and that's what makes it different. And I've had a particular past, and you've had a particular past, so I'm really enjoying sort of picking over this and being able to laugh about it rather than crying with my girlfriends, because that's what it would be otherwise if I wasn't making jokes about this.
Sorry, I just have two visions. I've got one of you going, oh, the single lady, and then the other, oh, the single lady. The other one is going, all by myself.
Exactly.
I want to be.
Yeah, just spinning in my chair on my own with an album cover of Lionel Richie. Hello. Is it? Why, Lord? Why? So you got to laugh about it, haven't you?
My producer just said it would be her Friday if she didn't do this. If she wasn't producing the show, it would be her and Lionel Richie, amongst other things.
You've got to be able to laugh about it. And what I really like about the show is that, obviously I'm speaking from a woman's perspective, but I'm not really. It's about relationships. And most of the stuff I say, it's applicable. Men and women get it. So like couples come, single guys, single girls, and it's just really fun. And the top of the show, we have a big old chat about relationships, and I ask some of the audience members. So there's a lot of audience interaction, but I'm really trying to be nice with it as well. So it doesn't I'm not going to try and intimidate people. And
but
stuff.
Are you going to eyeball a man in the audience and say, "Sir, are you taken on?"
Did you know that when I did the show in Edinburgh, I took people on dates after every show?
Stop.
Yeah, I did.
Well, that was fodder for your improv then.
Well, yeah, because it was great. Because the next morning, obviously, I was reporting back. So last night
I went out with.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh dearie me, that's a bit scary. And any result from that? No.
I'm sorry to say that. Put it like this: if I lined up every man that I went on a date with, it would look like the passing out parade at the end of the Police Academy films. It was not. It was not what I was after.
Who is your perfect man?
Oh gosh, I don't know. It's a tricky one. I think he'd be an amalgamation of lots of different things. He'd have a bit of Chris Rock in him, that's for sure. I won't say which bit. What? I'm talking about humour.
Maybe it'd be hair.
Yeah, he's got that good hair.
Good hair.
He's got a good hair.
If you haven't seen that, you just don't get that joke at all. I so apologise. You can tell I'm obsessed with Chris Rock. I was, but now I'm slightly over him, sadly.
Oh, bless him.
So anyway, let's just clarify. You're at the Soho Theatre. No. Are you?
I'm touring. So I'm going to be touring from September, basically late September, all over the country. Got London date as well in there, but I'm going all over the country, and I think it's going to be fun as well, because I'm going to try and incorporate some new material. I've had some new things that I'm no longer sobbing about, and so I can now write about them and put them in the show. So that, and you never know, I might meet someone between now and. But it's been 4 years. I mean, that is a long time.
That is a long time.
Yeah.
Well, and also because what's surprising about that is, of course, you have access to lots of people.
Yeah, but they're all like comedians. They're all tax avoiders. So I need someone who pays his taxes. I don't want to get pulled up in front of by David Cameron. Like I don't want any heat off that man. I don't want a quiet life.
But also, you are an actor, so you're in a walk-on part. Is that the Arts Theatre?
It's at the Arts Theatre. It's on now until July the 14th. And also, I'm making a crowdsourced film called Brit.I.Am. Brit.I.Am.org. And if people want to get involved, if they want to send in material, they should have a look at the website Brit.I.Am.org. It's going to be
What is it about?
Basically, I wrote a poem about British life and all the things we love and the things we hate. hey, and instead of filming me reciting it, I want to get loads of different people from all over the country to send material in.
Right.
So stuff's just started coming in, because at first when you do something like this, you're thinking, oh my gosh, no one's going to send anything, you're going to look like a complete idiot. But actually stuff started coming in now, which is really exciting, and we've got a little YouTube channel, and so it's been interesting.
Crowdsourcing has become incredibly popular. And lots of poets seem to be doing it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, there's me thinking I've got an original idea. It's like a relationship story. I thought I was the first one. I thought I was the first person to have a relationship.
No, I didn't mean that in a rude way.
No.
Just on Twitter, I've contributed to a couple of crowdsourced poems, but they want one word. You know, unlike you want people to say things. They want could you just give me
verses. I don't even just want a syllable. I want a whole verse. In fact, do the whole thing for me. No, I do. Yeah, little snippets that mean something to people. That's what I want them to do. That would be ideal.
Well, if you want to support that, what is it again? It is
Brit.I.Am. .org.
Okay, Brit.I.Am.org. Otherwise, you can go. So you're busy.
There's a lot going on.
You must be on a tax haven somewhere.
I have. How very dare you?
With that response, you obviously that is yes.
I protested too much then, didn't I?
You did protest too much. Indeed, you did. Well, anyway, Andi, thank you so much for coming in this evening. Really lovely to meet you. Andi Osho, she is in a walk-on part, which is on at the Arts Theatre, which is at Great Newport Street until the 14th of July. Go to their website, artstheatrewestend.com, and her tour is all around the world, it seems. It comes to London on the 27th of October at the Bloomsbury, and you can go to see tickets for that. Andi, great to meet you. Thanks for coming